Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined by Jim Goodwin, the Director of Juvenile Justice for Josephine County. Good to see you, sir.
Morning.
Thanks for coming. So I know you've been working with our Creative Services Department here, a separate division of NBC5, in asking people to weigh in on a marijuana production survey. Why is Josephine County doing this?
Correct. Well, you know, the project started when our prevention team, Juvenile Justice in Josephine County administers the Josephine County Prevention Program. Prevention programs are all around the state, and in our county, it falls under Juvenile Justice. So we had a team of folks that went to some trainings and some conferences to learn as much as we could on the topic, and what we found out is that we weren't learning anything about production, the effects of production. And we're a rural part of the state, and we produce a great majority of the marijuana consumed in the state of Oregon. It comes from Southern Oregon, and so we just weren't getting any information there, and so we thought we'd go out on our own and try to find some.
Okay, so in a nutshell, you guys are just trying to understand the agricultural, economic impact, if you
Correct.
will, of marijuana, legal marijuana in Josephine County.
Yes.
Okay, do we know what the economic impact is, or do we have any idea?
That's one of the areas that we're trying to flesh out and understand. From the producers' side, we hear a lot about a positive economic effect. That they're spending their money in the community, they're employing people, things like that. And that's a very difficult number to come by, but as part of the project, we're hoping to understand that. What is the benefit dollar-wise to the folks in Southern Oregon, Josephine County?
Do you have a timeline for what you're going to do with this information and what the plan is next, perhaps, or take us through those steps of where we go with the information gathered?
Right. Really, on the front end, it was just about gathering as much information as we could on things like the economic impact, impact to education, impact on society in general, and some other areas that really haven't been looked at. And so the hope was to just get as much information together from as many sources as we could and try to boil it down and to produce something for the public so that they can really see how it's affecting. We know that it's affecting Southern Oregon in ways that it doesn't affect areas where they don't produce it.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Jim Goodwin with Juvenile Justice in Josephine County, talk about the county's marijuana survey that you're working with our Creative Services Department on. How do you ensure that only Josephine County or local residents vote in this?
Well, understanding that the survey is not a scientific tool that's validated in a way, maybe like a poll would be. The survey is actually just one part of the project. We did want to go out there and get some public opinion as well as we could, asking for folks from our area to vote. But the other parts of the project are interviews with people and research on all of the different topics. So it's interviews with local law enforcement. It's interviews with producers, growers. It's ideally interviews with folks in maybe real estate or folks in community development and all the different areas where there's possible impacts of the marijuana production.
Well, as you know, we cover many Southern Oregon counties. It seems like, at least from my perspective in the news department, and to be fair, we may be being told by this very outspoken group in the community, that Josephine County has had a lot of land use conversations regarding marijuana. Is more so maybe than other counties. Do we know why that's the case?
A lot of land use, you're right, a lot of land use issues over the years. So Josephine County didn't do some of the things that happened in other counties when Measure 91 passed, as far as zonings and where you can produce and where you can't and things like that. So there are a lot of discussions around that this project really is. I guess that's a component of it, but it's really, again, a very small part of marijuana production. And but it is one area that we do want to look at as a whole.
Okay, and you mentioned that this, at least to me in the commercial break, that this survey is just one piece of what Josephine County is doing regarding this topic. Can you detail some other things for us?
Well, the idea was to get together as many professionals in all of the different areas. Like I mentioned real estate, I mentioned community development, I mentioned law enforcement, the sheriff in Josephine County, juvenile justice in Josephine County, and some growers, some producers, and just across the board, folks in education, folks in K through 12 education. And so the idea is to get as much information from all of the areas that we felt could be impacted by production and add that to the finished product.
Okay, good to see you. Thanks for breaking it down for us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.